What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be giving Port Adelaide a mid-season review as they head into the bye for the 2024 season. An 8-win, 4-loss start to the year for Port. It's probably been one of the more unconvincing 8-win, 4 losses for Port Adelaide fans. Anyway, there hasn't been enough evidence for us to suggest that currently we sit in the top 4, but by the end of the round we'll definitely be out of it going into when we come back against the Giants for the second half of the year. But it's dead set straight in the middle of the year, and we're going to assess Port Adelaide's season to date and where to go from here to see if we get an opportunity to strike and potentially win a premiership this year. Unlikely, but I've seen some things turn around before. So let's get straight into it and give Port Adelaide a mid-season review for 2024. So we sit here currently and we talk about Port Adelaide and we talk about the word pretender. It's been labelled, especially after the loss against Carlton. A lot of people outside of Port Adelaide woke up to it. A lot of the media woke up to it. There's always been that question mark of whether Ken Hinkley and his men can take it to the next level. Can they match it with the teams? My question for them is, why do they heap so much praise on a football club that has never really proven themselves in the key moments or in the key dates of the year? I'm talking September. I'm talking in the big games. Port Adelaide have stumbled and failed in these games that have come up. And there's been only one this year, and that's our best win for the year, and that's against Geelong in Geelong. Currently, though, Geelong aren't the greatest team in the world. Even though they sit third and above us, they have been unconvincing. The whole top 8 for me, besides Sydney, have been unconvincing. Obviously, Carlton have proven themselves on occasions, but have fallen short as well. Obviously, I think you look at teams like GWS who started hot but aren't improving themselves. Melbourne are in a worse spot than any of them, who are now out of the 8. There's a lot of question marks on these teams. These teams have proven they got the capabilities to do so. Port Adelaide in particular have 3 main factors where they don't end up proving themselves right in the contest or in these big games. And I'm talking consistency. I'm talking when the heat gets on in the middle. That last quarter in particular against Carlton was a key factor in why Port Adelaide will not do anything this year. They can't handle the heat. They can't handle when they're being pushed against the wall. And consistency throughout that game. We never really looked like striking. But the game was there to be broken wide open. It had the potential. And in the end, Carlton did it. Do we lack a sense of moment? Do we lack a sense of... I mentioned this in the review for Carlton as well. We lack a sense of smartness when it comes to those key moments. And I think that comes down to 2 parts. It comes down to leadership and it comes down to the playing group. And when I talk leadership, I talk the coaching panel, the key representatives on Port Adelaide. And these key moments of swapping and these key moments of positional changes. What is going wrong exactly for Port Adelaide? Do we talk starting positions? Do we talk individuals? Do we talk our structures going forward or behind the ball? Too many times now, I think we've been beaten in the contest in the middle, and I don't think that's been raised enough. When you don't have the likes of Rosie in there, it puts a lot more pressure on Butters and Horne-Francis. You take one of them out, not one person is going to do the damage for you. All 3 will have capabilities to impact the game. When we look at forward line structure, we talk about, are we too incapable of moving around and being quick and being able to stretch the defence? Are we too focused heavily on putting it inside 50, creating that stoppage feature? Yes. Are we talking too much about these personnel changes that we want but aren't happening? I'm talking Charlie Dixon. It's a main focus. It's been a question mark since that game. He had 1 touch and got subbed out. I love Charlie. I think he's a key presence in our 50, and he's proven it this year in moments that I think stood out from the rest. I'm talking the game against Fremantle where he took those 2 big marks in the game. He only took 2 marks for the game, but they were 2 key crucial marks and he took them, slotted the goal. The game against St Kilda, kicked 4 straight. He's been a key pillar. To suggest that he's, lost it, yeah, probably a little bit, but you do that at his age, and especially for a big tall, you become slow and you become incapable of moving as quick as everyone else. Is that affecting Todd Marshall, Mitch Georgiadis and Jeremy Finlayson? It's a weird bunch of forwards. Not going to lie. I think they work better without Charlie. We've seen that with Todd, but you can't put that focus on Todd saying he's better without Charlie when his form without Charlie dictates that it's not. Like, he's played one game this year without Charlie where he kicked goals. The rest he kicked 1 or 2 in a game, maybe. Finlayson is not capable enough of hitting the contest hard enough. Georgiades is still raw and coming back from injury, proved himself against Carlton, thought he was very good, but he still has those moments where he lapses out and can't be confident enough in himself to take the moment. I think this is where a lot of our problems lie, and our inability to kick crucial goals at crucial moments, and our midfield. I look at our forward structure. A lot of the time, we've bombed it inside 50. It has been quite shallow. You know, it's that 30, 40 metre mark. Teams transition around the back, get it on the outside, and all of a sudden expose us open. Is it working? Probably not. Needs a few tweaks and a few changes. But these are changes that can be made. And there's a positive outlook on this, and I'm not trying to be too negative. I'm just trying to pull these apart and see where we can build up and make it stronger. So next time it's pulled apart, it's a little bit harder and a little bit more difficult. Defensively, I think if I was to rank the recruits for the year, they're getting about a 6, 7 out of 10. I personally believe Brandon Zerktouch has been the best of the bunch. Radagalia's had moments, was very, very good against Larky a couple of weeks back, has had moments, but I think defensively we've been quite vulnerable, and I think our decision-making down back, I personally believe there's a couple of players that haven't been up to the standard and keep getting picked. Burton and Jones, who wouldn't be in my 23 going into GWS in next week's game. They have been out of form. I don't think there's been a star player on our team this year that's really stood out from the rest, bar Jason Horne-Francis. And when you come down to it, defensively, defence wins games, and they haven't proven themselves enough. We concede, I think, around 90 points per game from teams against top 8. Whilst we also average 90, you know, that's not good enough. And we're not shutting down these key components. And I look at these two games in particular, the Melbourne loss at home and the Carlton loss at home. They are proven moments, proven games that if you want evidence to suggest Port Adelaide can't win the big games and can't stand up in the moments, especially with defensive acts and pressure and being able to seize the moment, it's those games. So yeah, to sum it all up, defensively and our down 4, it's just it's not a mess. Like if I was to sum this whole thing up, this whole first half of the year so far, am I going into the second half of the year with confidence? No. Our second half of the year is very difficult. But if you want to turn around, you want to have this rest, and you want to change everything and prove that we are capable and prove the doubters wrong and prove these comments coming from the media that we're pretenders wrong, then the second half of the year is where you get it. It's not over yet. It's never over. That's the positive attitude and positive mindset you've got to take into every single game. It's not over. We're sitting 8-4. We're probably going to play finals. There is just a moment in time now where we've got to sit here and say, enough's enough. Can the real Port Adelaide please stand up, to quote the great Slim Shady? There is a time where Port Adelaide will finally snap. Finally, and I talk 11 years finally. I think we're capable enough of doing it. Am I confident enough in doing so? No. It's very interesting to see how we'll pan out. And I hope to God, and I hope the case is, that we find the right mix, find that balance, and make the tough decisions, and are capable enough of taking this game and this team forward against quality opposition coming up. Our next 3 games after the bye are crucial. We play GWS away. We play Brisbane at home in our 2004 celebration game. We play St Kilda away. And if you want to throw in the 4th game, it's the Dogs at home. I think if you want to prove yourself capable enough, then you win those 4 games. It's as simple as that. All in all, Port fans, I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Mid-season review, more of a rant, if anything. But I think, you know, what is working and what isn't working is irrelevant, because we know what isn't working. And it's all up here for Port. This is the one thing we got to fix. You can add, chop and change players like you're trading cards the whole time. But at the end of the day, if they don't have this, they're incapable of doing anything. So they need to change that. And once we get Rosa back, get Rioli back, get a few players back in, get a few games under the miles and get consistency in our game, I think we'll prove a few people wrong. And that's the positive outlook I'm going to have for the rest of the year, because positivity wins games and positivity wins premierships, because I'm a happy-go-lucky supporter who's not in pain at all. I had to lie through my teeth there. I do apologise. That was not me. But anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Still, it's my club. It's everyone's club. We love Port, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully they can prove us wrong and get some confidence in the fans, and we just kick a few more goals and keep winning games of football. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it all plans out, eh? But to grade Port Adelaide to finalise this whole mid-season review, I give it a C+. It's a pass, but it's just a very standard pass. It's really like my report cards back in the day. We'll see how it all pans out. Thank you so much for watching, Port fans. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way. The Glass Table episode is out as well, so make sure you go check that out. And I look forward to speaking to you in next week when we come back, ready for the second half of the season. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Anthony, and as always, ThePear.